Welcome to the Underground Paradox, the UGP, with me, G. Revers. Last time, I was out on Cornwall, investigating. This time, I'm back in Devon, on Dartmoor, investigating and discussing a case of alien abduction. I'm on an overnight wild camp, so you'll get to see some van life in this episode, all the filming throughout the day, into the evening, and some nighttime filming, and me camping overnight. So let's get to it and enjoy this episode. Just a quick pit stop to get some supplies for dinner this evening, so just been in, got a little bit of shopping, and continuing the journey on to my destination. Hi guys, and welcome back to the Underground Paradox, the search for truth. I'm out in Billy Bongo again, the Underground Paradox machine. This time I'm going to be wild camping on Devon, and the reason that I'm going to Devon today and the location that I'm going to is as close as I can get. Basically, it's all about an incident that happened in 1981 in April, so 44 years ago, a long time ago. And this was a gentleman that was holiday making in Devon from Kingston upon Thames, and he was wild camping in a field. But that field, being that it was 44 years ago, is no longer there. And so I'm camping as close as, damn it, as I can get to the location. And I will also be wild camping. And so basically, yeah, that's what we're going to be discussing today. That's what we're going to be talking about and looking into. I will share more facts and more information with you as we go throughout this episode. But I'm going to continue my drive to the wooded location where I'm going to be parking up and, as I said, wild camping overnight. So I'll check you out in just a moment. Really pleased with this spot. It's right next to the woods. Nice level spot. It's going to be really cool later on when it's dark, right up against this woods. But I'm going to go for a bit of a walk and an explore now. Gosh, I am really lucky. This is going to be a really nice overnight camp because I'm very lucky. It's a beautiful sunny day today, roughly probably about 19 degrees. It's April right now, so very lucky to get this kind of weather this time of year in this area of the UK. So very lucky, and this woods is beautiful, and I'm sure it's only going to look more interesting tonight when I do some night filming and do my overnight camp. But I just wanted to take a seat a moment and just talk to you a little bit more about this experience, this incident that happened in 1981, in April of 1981. But before I do, I just want to sort of talk a little bit about why I'm so interested in this. And that's because, I've alluded to it previously on some of my episodes on this channel, that I had my own potential experience when I was 14 years old. Now, I call it a potential experience because I don't have any hard evidence to share with anybody in the world. So logically, as quite a logical person, I then have to concede that, well, I can't prove it to anybody, so therefore it still sits under that banner of potential experience. Now, I'm not going to talk you through that full experience. What I will say is that, over the years I've considered whether it was a dream, and that has to again be a logical option. And we're all capable of having really impactful, prolific dreams that affect us right through to the next day, and you think you can't shake them off and they feel that they were really real. But ask yourself this, because my potential experience happened almost 40 years ago now. So after 40 years, would a dream be affecting you as much as it still affects me every day? And that's something that I definitely, always ponder about, and, sort of pushes me away from just that logical choice of the fact that it was a dream. But, my experience, or my potential experience, happened when I was 14. I didn't talk about it with anybody until I was 17. That was the first time I discussed it with anyone. So 3 years later, and I'd kind of buried it. And it only surfaced and came out when I met someone. I was an international student living in Arizona in the US, and I had a host brother-in-law who was very much open-minded around the whole ufology phenomenon. And he started talking about stuff that he had seen, and quite openly, and it encouraged me to talk about this thing that had potentially happened to me. But the key thing is that at that time it was a bit of a car crash, me talking about it that first time, because again, much later down the line, I've then come to realize that there was an element of post-traumatic stress. And when I talked about it, and when I still talk about it now, but more so then, I can't help but get emotional. And it was a car crash when I first spoke about it, because it just brought so many emotions up, and it really was like every time I start talking about it, I kind of feel like I'm having a panic attack. That's the best way that I can describe it to you. But it was really difficult to talk about. But my potential experience happened in 1988. So it was almost 40 years ago now, and it took place in Plymouth and Devon, which is about 30 or 40 miles from where we are right now. And this incident that took place in 1981 also took place in Devon, in an area called Budleigh Salterton. Now, as I mentioned to you earlier, it took place in a field, but that field, being that it's 44 years later, is not there anymore. And somebody told me about this wooded location, which they said was beautiful, so I wanted to come and check it out, and it's quite close to where this event happened. So who knows what I might experience and see tonight, being in that same location, or close to that same location 44 years later. Who knows? But, going back to this incident, what's really super interesting about it is that it actually took place only, I think it was 4 months after the Rendlesham Forest incident. Now, if you've never heard of the Rendlesham Forest incident, that took place here in the UK in 1980s, and one of the most famous cases of interactions with UAPs, UFOs, and it involved the military, and a lot of military people and officers and have come forward and reported and gone on record to say what they saw. It was a very, very interesting case in the whole global world of ufology. And this incident that took place in Budleigh Salterton happened 4 months after. Now, Rendlesham Forest is on the southeast coast of the UK. And where I am right now, and where Budleigh Salterton is in the southwest. So it's still on that south banner, but probably roughly, I would say about, Rendlesham Forest is roughly about 220 miles away from where we are right now. But interesting that it happened, something just hit me in the head, that was weird. So it happened just about 4 months after that big event and that big incident. Now, just to explain what happened, this gentleman was on holiday, wild camping. He was on holiday from Kingston upon Thames, which is an area of the London Borough. So, he was closer probably to Rendlesham Forest, that's where he originally hailed from, but he was down here in Devon on holiday in 1981, wild camping in a field in Budleigh Salterton. And he woke up at about 4:30 in the morning. He's by himself, and I presume he was going to the toilet or something. And in this field that he was camping in, across the other side of the field, he noticed 2 orbs of light that were moving. And then he reports that he saw a 3rd orb across the other side of the field. And then in his report, what he claims happened is that he got either pushed or thrown to the floor. And then he was pinned down on the floor, facing up, so not facing down, but facing up towards the sky. and he reports that he was being pinned and pushed down and couldn't move. And that's the first part of this reported incident that is very common within the world and reports of, alien interaction, ufology, abduction. That's a very, very common element of a lot of the reports about this sort of manufactured fake gravity that is pushing you down. And actually, funny enough, it's part of my potential experience as well. That's a key fundamental element of where my kind of experience started, with me being pinned on my bed face down, unable to move. And then what happened from there, he doesn't remember exactly how he got up off the floor, but then he was obviously freaked out and started making his way back to his tent. And as he did, he noticed that these lights were kind of coming together and forming one light, and then it was sort of following him parallel across the field towards his tent. Now, he obviously got so freaked out about this whole incident that he then began to start to pack up his tent. He thought, right, I'm getting out of here. And once he had packed up his tent, got it in his rucksack and started to make his way to get out of the area, he looked at his watch and noticed that it was 6:35. Now remember, I said that it started at 4:30. So all of a sudden he's lost 2 hours of missing time. And missing time, again, is a very common element to a lot of abduction, a lot of UFO sighting reports. Now myself, in my potential experience, I can't claim any realization or understanding of missing time, but this gentleman certainly did. And it was, something, again, within this report, within this incident, that is very common within the world of reports. What he did then is he continued to walk and walk and walk, and he was making his way to a location called Exmouth, which is a seaside coastal town here in Devon. As he was getting nearer to Exmouth, he noticed that his legs and his feet were really, really hurting. So he wanted to take a seat, and he pulled over at the side of the road to take a seat. He's obviously just walking, he's not in a vehicle, and he took his footwear and his socks off. And when he did this, he noticed that he had puncture holes in both of his ankles. Now, at the time, a few months after this incident, it was investigated by UFO investigators and paranormal investigators, and they concluded that this was an abduction case, and that possibly this gentleman was taken on board and experimented upon, based upon the puncture wounds, which were documented, and I do believe they were photographed. At least it states it does, but I haven't actually seen these photographs. Now, that's pretty much where the incident ends, or at least the report ends. Now, this report is very, very difficult to find online. In fact, I only found it on a sort of newspaper online site called Devon Live. There was an article in 2022 where it resurfaced. And it only resurfaced because there's been some people in the local area going through, historical reports. The thing was, at the time, as I mentioned, a few months after the incident, it was investigated by UFO investigators and paranormal investigators, but it didn't actually appear. Well, it was then featured in the Western Morning News, which again is a local newspaper at the time, and then in 1985 it featured in a book called The Unexplained Files, I believe, or The Unexplained Stories. And that was a book that was written by a local female author. And then otherwise, other than Devon Live, it doesn't appear anywhere online. And this is why, as I said, I'm not being able to find these photographs. But in the original accounts and reports, it says that the UFO investigators had taken pictures of the puncture wounds, etc., as part of their case report. However, I can't share those pictures with you or find those pictures, so that, as I would classify it, is hearsay. But, a really, really interesting case with really common elements to it around abduction. And so it's going to be interesting being here tonight and just seeing if there is anything about the local environment that could explain this gentleman's experience and any ones that have happened to anybody in between. There may be some sort of natural or man-made phenomenon that kind of explains it. Who knows? Until I do my overnight camp, can't really tell you. But I'm going to continue to walk and venture through this woods, but I'll carry on talking to you guys, but I feel rested enough to carry on walking now. Right, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit more about missing time, but before I do, there is this huge, large kestrel that keeps circling around me. I'm pretty sure it's a kestrel, but he's quite big, so he's almost about the size of an eagle. I think he thinks I'm lunch or something, but if I capture or see him again, I'll try and get him on camera, but he's really beautiful. I'm saying he, it could be a she. With missing time, it's very common that people naturally go to the solution that missing time is the explanation of removed memory or suppressed memory. But sometimes, you know, there's a lot of other people that have considered that the phenomenon of missing time might be related to some sort of interdimensional aspect to the experience, you know, that time can move differently in different pockets of dimension, or that there could be an element of equipment or technology that they can use to control a certain area of environment and suppress how the time and space works within that location. But, you know, one of the most important things is that it looks, or for a lot of people, the natural explanation for missing time is the removal or the suppression of memories. Now, as some of the cases have gone on, and you know, we look for commonalities in claims and reports of abduction or UFO, UAP sightings, again, another common element that's come up in those reports is people sort of thinking that there's false memories inserted to them as well, and things that don't really add up and don't make sense. And that's very you know, significant in my potential experience, because I have memories within my potential experience that are both took place as we are now during the daytime, and then there's elements of my experience that were the majority was in the nighttime. And obviously, because of the duration of the experience, I couldn't have been both day and night. And as I've gone on to do my research and investigation throughout the years, and bearing in mind, I didn't really start to do any research or investigation until my late 20s, because again, it sounds dramatic to some people, but I was very much traumatized by this experience, and for very many years I didn't even want to talk about or think about this incident, and certainly I didn't want to delve into it. And I'm still very nervous and still very apprehensive and anxious about a lot of things to do with the phenomenon. As you guys know, I shared a video on this channel which was called the best of UFOs of 2024 or something like that, where I had two sightings, funny enough, in 2024. One I caught on camera, one I did not. Now for me, I'm stood here talking to you about this potential experience that I had when I was 14, but I wouldn't claim it to be a sighting. So for me, up until that point, up until last year, 2024, I hadn't had a sighting, and then I had two in 1 year. But the first one, one of the main reasons why I failed to get it caught on camera was, one, because I reacted too slowly, but two, also when then my thought process started to realign and think, right, I should do this, or I should do that, or I should get my camera. I've got to be honest with you, I was crapping myself, and the reason why I was crapping myself is because related to my experience. I'm sad to say, because a lot of people do talk about having certain interactions, whether it's just sightings of UAPs and UFOs, like as in craft, or they have sightings of biological entities, or then we have cases and reports of abduction. Again, another very common feature about that is that people, you know, claim that the experience was really lovely and benign and you know, non-violent, non-threatening. Obviously, there's a lot of other reports and cases where it's the absolute opposite. For me, I can't claim it either way, but what I can claim is that it unnerves me. The whole experience unnerved me. I guess whenever you're out of control, and for a lot of my experience, I wasn't in control and I was being controlled, that element of suppression leaves you feeling sort of useless and really vulnerable. And so there is an element of fear from that. I didn't see any biological entities in my experience. I don't recall having any harm or injury come to me, but I can tell you with a lot of confidence that throughout my potential experience, a lot of it I was not in control, and and that leaves an element of, I guess, just apprehension and fear. So that was the reason why I didn't get a lot of that experience that I had in early 2024 on camera, because I was in my vehicle at the time and I just thought, I want to get out of here. I want to get out of here. That was my gut reaction. And again, I talk about that on the video. But within my experience, my potential experience that I had when I was 14, I definitely feel that there, through my years of research and looking into all of this phenomenon, I've come to realize that maybe there was elements of false or inserted memories within my potential experience. And those false and inserted memories were ones that that were the ones that took part during the daylight hours, because I do believe that my experience happened throughout the night, and at some point during the nighttime hours. So there you go. I've just decided to, sorry if it goes a bit dark, I've just decided to venture inside to this woodland and just have a little bit of an explore. I love it when you get into these really sort of dark elements of woodland. It's nice to kind of experience them during the day. It still looks quite light right now, but as you venture into this sort of area of woods, it's actually quite dark compared to the fact that it's a sunny day. But yeah, it's a big love of mine, because it just, I think it feels, or it allows you to feel like you can get away from the world. I haven't seen that kestrel again, but I do keep hearing like a fluttering noise, and I'm presuming it's still around here somewhere, but who knows. But this is a beautiful, beautiful location, and it just does the heart good to get out. What I'll do is I've just come to the edge of the forest. I'm going to try and get some drone footage now, just so that I can show you how beautiful this woods looks. Just got back from my wander and walk around, and I've been walking for a good couple of hours. Gonna have a cup of tea now, kettle's on the boil, and I think I might have a nap. And then I'm gonna be obviously this evening making some dinner. I've got a chicken curry lined up, so fingers crossed that all goes well and it's not too stressful. So I'll be making myself a nice chicken curry later on. I'll share that with you guys. And then as we encroach into the nighttime, hopefully I will be able to get some nighttime footage and share that with you guys. But I think I'm going to take the rest of the afternoon just to have a little nap. It's nice. You can do these sort of things in a camper. Just as I'm starting to have my nap, I just thought I would show you the view from my lovely bungalow and where I'm having the nap, and just where I mentioned that I'm right up against this woods that I've been venturing through today. So yeah, it's a pretty good life. Right, it's come to that time to make some dinner. Dinner by the woodside, I'm going to call it. But yeah, so I'm not going to show you the whole of me making this meal, but I'm attempting to make a chicken curry. Last time I was out, I had a chili, and completely forgot to film any of me prepping it, and shared a picture of the chili. One lesson I've learned, and I can share for tips for van life, is that if you're gonna think about rice, really get a bag, the bags of rice, boil in a bag. They're so much sort of cleaner, really, basically, like, you take the bag out, and it doesn't leave all the sticky rice mess that you get, if you were to just use plain old, good old rice. So yeah, that's a little tip that I learned. But last time I did 2 bags of rice and ended up with this, if you saw the photograph, it was like a big pile of rice with curry on top of it, and it was absolutely massive amount of food to eat, and so I was very fat and full afterwards. But yeah, so this time I'm trying to make a chicken curry. Just sorting out the veg at the moment, and I honestly didn't think about the fact that this time when I'm out and about, I'm sort of wild camping, so I don't have any Wi-Fi, and I didn't think to download any films before I came out onto my sort of tablet, and so basically I've just been fighting where I am right now. I've only got like a couple of bars of 4G, sometimes it's even 1 bar, but I've managed to hotspot my tablet to my phone and put my phone up in the roof and get enough signal to download 3 films. And 2 of the films that I've downloaded, I don't know if you guys have got to watch it, but there's basically content that I do for another collaborative channel, The Vault, and I do a live podcast on that one, and we've done a couple of podcasts recently which are all about sort of the best movies in the paranormal genre. And on the last podcast that I did, I was joined by a special guest who was an author. He's also a spiritual medium and a paranormal investigator, and the gentleman's name is Kevin Hines, and he joined me to discuss like the top thought-provoking films within the sort of supernatural genre and horror. And 2 of the films that we ended up discussing were Conjuring and Conjuring 2. So I've downloaded those 2 films tonight to watch, and call me crazy, but I'm out here in the middle of nowhere, right next to a woods, by myself, and I'm going to sit here and watch Conjuring and Conjuring 2. So if there's anything that's going to psych and freak me out, that's probably going to do it. But obviously I'm hoping to get out this evening in the dark and do some footage and filming as well, and just having a look around that woods that we were exploring today. Really interesting and beautiful place. So yeah, so I can't film all of this because I need to save some battery from a camera, but I'll come back shortly once I've got this chicken curry on the go, and you guys can check in. Do you know what? You often don't think about this, but it's actually a hell of a lot more harder to chop when you sat down. Try it. See if you agree with me. On that note, brandishing a knife at you. On that note, please, if this is your first visit to the channel, please do subscribe. You can subscribe here, and also I'd really appreciate your support on my channel, The Vault. Links are always in the description. That's my collaborative channel. I do a lot of paranormal content on there as well, so you might enjoy it. So please go and check that out. But please leave your comments about what you think about the incident I was telling you about earlier on, whilst we were out, exploring around the woods. yeah, let me know what your thoughts are, and if you've had a similar experience or know somebody that has, please again comment. That would be awesome. Right, where's my meat? See, right now I've just been cutting meat, and just get a nice disinfectant wipe and get that whole slimy meat off the hands. Really, really easy, simple. Got handy little sachets of oil. Saves having to, because I haven't got a lot of space in this bungalow, I'm going to be honest with you. It's a nice camping installation, but storage wise it's not particularly generous. So you've got to think carefully about what you want and how you're going to use it. And little sort of sachets of olive oil really do help. Helps if you hit the record button to start off with. I've just been talking to you guys, but actually not talking to you because I wasn't recording it. So what I'm doing, some people might find it a little bit lazy, but I'm frying off the veg first. I've only got one small frying pan, then I'll fry up the meat and then add everything into a saucepan together with the sauce, and then cook it off that way. Just find that quicker and easier, especially in terms of cooking the chicken, but because my frying pan is so small, I've got to do the veg first and then I'll do the chicken. And when I do that, I hopefully will remember to hit the record button. Right, I'm starting to cook the chicken now, and I'm going to add some, again, doing a bit of a cheat. I've got some lazy garlic with me, so I'm going to add that to the chicken as well, just to pep it up a little bit. But yeah, just an easier way when you're out in the van, rather than having to mess around with a full fresh piece of garlic. But if I was at home, I'd definitely be using fresh garlic. Right, so I've cut out all the footage of me obsessively cleaning, because nobody wants to see that. All the curry ingredients is in one saucepan now, which is this one, and I am going to go for the 2 bags of rice again. I just can't help myself, but when you see them and you see 1 bag, you just think, is that enough? I don't know. So I'm going for the 2 bags. Call me greedy, but it's just got to be that way. Yeah. Okay, so as I said, I've got all the curry into one saucepan now, and just got to get the rice cooked, which is going to take about another 14 minutes, and allow this curry to slowly cook, and then we should be ready. And I've got some lovely poppadoms to have with, the essential poppadoms to have with your curry. And I am definitely, after all of that walking today, I am definitely hungry and ready for this meal. So the next time you see me, I'll be dishing up and getting ready to serve. Right, okay, I'm ready to dish up. That is the 2 bags of rice, so I don't know if you think that that's too much, but yeah, I'm just about to put the curry on top. Okay, so here it is with my curry on top. I'm going to grab my poppadoms in just a moment and get noshing. Okay, so I'm going to enjoy this dinner and watch one of those films that I downloaded, and then I'm going to have to wrap up this camper because the temperature is going to drop quite quickly, and then I'll have to get myself ready to go out and do some more filming, and this time at night. So catch you guys in a bit. I'm going to enjoy this curry. Right, I'm just outside the camper van, about to head out and do some night footage, but I just thought I'd capture this first. That's half moon, but just you can see how high some of these trees are in the forest. I'm literally got the camera above my head facing upwards. Don't worry, that's a lens flare, that's not anything weird. But yeah, it just gives you I have to look like directly up to see the tops of these trees. So yeah, I am still really enjoying where I am. Just come across this. Looks like a previous campsite for somebody. The temperature has definitely dropped, which is what you would expect at night time, of course, but it's dropped quite drastically, to be honest with you. The further I get into this, the more I'm kind of thinking, Jesus, I've never been to this woods before, except for today, and I've only walked around it once. And yeah. Will I get lost? Why do I do these things? I think this is where I walked downhill earlier today. I'm unsure. It seemed a lot straighter. I mean, in all honesty, let me just turn the camera around a minute. So I guess, you know, if you're going to put yourself really in a position of potentially being in in an area where there's been a history of potential abduction, and if you want to have the chance of getting abducted, what better way to do it than come out into the middle of nowhere in the middle of the night by yourself? I don't know what I'm doing. It's just amazing looking at the sky through this forest. I don't think all the stars, yep, they are. They're all coming out on camera, which is good. I'm getting freaked out because I keep hearing noises. However, there was a lot of noises in this woods earlier today. Anyway, tight-knitted trees together, they kind of make a lot of creaking noises, and that's what I was hearing a lot of. But when you're hearing it at night time, it just has a very, very different feeling. Yeah, I'm going to start heading back closer to the camper van, the underground paradox machine, because I'm freaked out. I hadn't even started watching the horror movies yet, so... Oh gosh, I thought that was something. Again, I will be doing some episodes in the future that focus more on cryptids. Another favourite subject of mine, and I will be sharing with you guys a theory that I've been working on that kind of mixes science with mythology and sociology, and I'll be sharing that with you sometime in the future. But look forward to a lot of cryptid stuff to come on the channel as well. I've just been sorry, I'm whispering because I'm trying to really listen to all the noises, but I've been sitting here, kind of crouched, kneeling, sort of on the floor, and been here for a little while, just trying to listen to things and try and take in the environment. And it's difficult when you're in this kind of environment when you're filming, because you need to use light so that you can see me on camera, because I haven't got night vision and I need to really start using that, but it doesn't allow my eyes to adjust, so I just keep seeing a wall of black in front of me. Yeah, I think it's time to head back. Well, I'm back in the bongo, trying to warm up. It was kind of another bit of a long jaunt as well that I went on, but I didn't do so much filming because without the night vision, having to use the camera light just made it so hard to see. Like I was constantly in a wall of black, so it was kind of adding a very weird element to that experience. So yeah, I'm glad to be back here in the bongo and warming up. But I'll definitely check in with you again before I hit the sack. But tomorrow, I'm not going to actually be doing so much filming here in the location. I'll again obviously check in with everybody in the morning, but I won't be doing so much filming here tomorrow because I do need to get off quite soon, because I've got to get back home to make a big roast for a family event. So yeah, that's going to be my day tomorrow. But it's been a brilliant day here, you know, on Devon, on Dartmoor, in this wooded location near Budleigh Salterton, and yeah, it's just it's been ideal weather conditions, and just ideal location, perfect spot right next to the edge of the woods, and I've just had a brilliant day, but I am tired. It's a lot of walking, so yeah, but as I said, I'll check in with you guys in a bit. I'm going to watch those films now, settle in, get comfortable, but I'll check in with you before I hit the sack. Right, well, I've made up a bed. I don't know if it's coming out on the microphone, on the sound. There's a really loud owl. Hopefully that must have. But it's not surprising, as you know, I'm right on the edge of a woods. But yeah, I've watched I've watched one of the scary movies, and successfully freaked me out. But yeah, I'm about to hit the sack, and but I'll film if there's any other bumps in the night or strange sounds, other than the really loud, very active owl. But I'll see you guys in the morning. Well, good morning. It's morning, and I've survived the night. Wasn't any strange sounds or spooky occurrences, which, you know, I'm kind of thankful for, slightly. But yeah, comfortable night. Now I'm just going to start getting packed up and getting ready to get on the road. Well, that's the underground paradox machine all packed up and ready to go. And yeah, it's been a brilliant visit here on Devon, on Dartmoor. I'm going to hit the road. I hope you guys please give this video a like. Please subscribe to the channel and to my other channel, The Vault. And I'll check you out next time on the Underground Paradox. Thank you for watching. See you soon.